Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Assalamu'alaikum. If you clicked on this video, I know two things about you. The first one is that you're Muslim, and the second one is that you want to make money online. Well, alhamdulillah, I don't have any course to sell you. Well, I do have, but not in this video. And basically, I want to give you everything for free. I'm going to explain you what took me 4 years to understand, and now, alhamdulillah, I got it figured out exactly how, as Muslims, you can make 10K a month without doing any weird business. I'm just going to give you overall principles. So sit down for 20 minutes. You'll learn exactly what you need to do to make money online as a Muslim. Bismillah. Magic. So, secret to make 10K a month as a Muslim. It's pretty simple. This video is going to be 3 points, right? There's going to be 2 main points and a bonus at the end. The first point, it's putting trust in Allah. So you're all going to say, oh yeah, another mindset video. No. Listen to this and know what I'm saying. This one is the most important thing you need to understand in your life, right? The first thing you need to understand is that think back to who you are and who created you. You are human. Allah Azza wa Jalla created you. Allah created this pen. Allah created this whiteboard. Allah created this computer. He created everything, right? And He also created the business you want. He also created the money that you want. He also created the clients that you want. So whenever you're trying to make money to get anything in life, why don't we always forget that it's in Allah Azza wa Jalla's possession? He owns it. If we want it, we have to borrow it from Him because He owns everything. No one can disagree with this. Now, if I ask you, let's say I want to sell a course. Do you have money to buy my course? Who does your money belongs to in the end? Your money that you have to buy my course, everything here, you, me, my course, your money belongs to Allah Azza wa Jal. So if me and you try to work something out, I try to sell you a course, you try to give me money, and we forget that it's all in Allah Azza wa Jal's hands, then it can't work because He owns everything. So if we're not in accordance with Him, it doesn't work. If we're not praying on time, if we're not, allocating all the resources we have in our life to make everything possible to be the best Muslim, then it can't work, right? So the first point is trusting Allah Azza wa Jal. It's understanding that Allah Azza wa Jal owns everything. If you want something, whether it's a business, whether it's a client, whether you want to learn something, get better at something. I was myself making dua to Allah Azza wa Jal in sujood for everything I would like to achieve. I wanted to get in a good school, I made dua to Allah. I wanted to get a business, I made dua to Allah. So this is the number one, and A would be sujood, right? This is superpower number one. Everyone, prays. If you're praying and you're fast forwarding your prayer, like, you're playing in 5 times speed, somehow you're too busy, then everything here you can forget about, right? This is not for you, right? The first thing you need to do is fix your prayer, fix everything, right? But I don't want to make this video too long and, Islamic structure because you'll just click off. So I'm trying to make it kind of entertaining, right? So the first one is sujood. We're praying 5 times a day. We have 17 rak'ahs to do if you count from Fajr to Isha. And in every prayer, in every rak'ah, we have 2 sujoods, right? Simple to understand. So that makes it 17 rak'ah, which makes it 34 sujood, right? It's very simple. Here, you forget the main point. You have 34 opportunities every single day, and that's just counting you pray, the minimum prayers you have to be a Muslim. Here you have 34 chances of asking Allah Azza wa Jal to grant you whatever you want. You have 34 chances every single day to ask the one who owns everything to grant you anything you want. So think about it. You're trying to maybe message, even me, I get tons of messages, people trying to ask me how to make money. Bruv, I'm just like you a few steps ahead. Why do you ask me? Ask Allah Azza wa Jal. Obviously, I'm portraying like a portrait here to make it simple for you. But most of you guys forget this. You just go from, 10K a month, yeah, forget it, screw it, Allah Azza wa Jalla, okay, I can pray to Allah and this is fine, but when I want to do business, I need to go somewhere else. Don't you think that Allah Azza wa Jalla is the one who created all the businesses? He created every business that exists. He created the money you have, the money I have, everything. Just like I said before, He created everything. So even the shiniest TikTok affiliate thing you want or growth operating, He created it. Like that sounds crazy to you because you think Islam was created 1400 years ago. When in reality, Allah Azza wa Jalla created everything and even created time. So He even created the small business you want to get into. If you think your business is too shiny or whatever, for Him, He created it. He knows it better than you and better than the physical person who created it. If Iman Gadzhi made SMMA popular, Allah Azza wa Jal created SMMA before Iman Gadzi. So why don't you try to ask Allah Azza wa Jal to help you out instead of asking Iman? Anyway, I'm gonna start shouting. So, first glitch, sujood. In every sujood that you have from now onwards, you make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal to help you out, whether with your situation, whether to learn the client, whether to learn and become better at your skill, whatever you want to achieve, you make a habit. In every single sujood, you ask Allah Azza wa Jal to grant you the thing you want. Every time. You don't miss this, all right? And you'll catch yourself after a few days, a few weeks of doing this, you'll have such a habit. One day, you will be praying and making this dua, and you'll notice while making it that it was already granted. Wallahi, this happened to me many times, and it continues to happen till this day, alhamdulillah. Trust me, if you want this to happen to you, make it a habit, 34 sujood a day, dua in every sujood. It can be a short dua, you can make it in whatever language you speak, very simple. Just make sure you stick to it every day. Come back to me in 2 weeks, your problem will be solved, inshallah. So that's glitch number 1. Number 2 is trust. Here you need to convince yourself and be convinced that Allah Azza wa Jal is capable of everything, especially when you're making dua, He's capable of those 2 things. He's capable to answer the dua, whatever you want. If your Nuh alayhi salam was stuck inside the belly of a whale, you cannot be in a worse situation than this, right? Even at the time, right? He didn't have no GPS, no iPhone to call for 911, right? He was completely screwed. He still made dua at this time and was convinced that Allah Azza wa Jal could help him out in this situation, and that's what he did. So have conviction that Allah is capable of helping you out, and also understand that Allah Azza wa Jal has good intentions with you. Some of you guys think Allah Azza wa Jal is your enemy for some reason. You think He doesn't like you, He screwed you, He whatever. Allah Azza wa Jal said that if Fir'aun, before he passed away, if he repented, Allah Azza wa Jal would forgive him. So you think, if you go and you Google what Fir'aun did, it's a madness. You can even think, like Hitler is a baby compared to him. Fir'aun did some madness and Allah Azza wa Jal was ready to forgive him if he repented. You think, because maybe you drank something or you watched some crazy stuff or you did some music. I'm not saying sins are not bad, right? I'm just saying, don't be desperate and thinking you're screwed. That's like the trap of shaitan. But anyway, understand that Allah Azza wa Jal wants to help you, wants to give you good things. You just need to ask for it and then go and take it. That would be my second point. Asking for it is the first point. Going and take it is the second point. I'll get to it in a minute. And here I'll just write this, which means conviction. All right, conviction of 2 things: capability and conviction of Him having a good intention with you of answering your du'as. Somehow you guys think Allah Azza wa Jal is your enemy when He couldn't care less about being your enemy. You don't owe Him anything. If He wants to make me disappear right now, He can, and nothing will happen. He created me. I cannot do anything. So He is capable of answering it, and He wants to answer it. He wants good for you. He created you for a reason. He could have made you an angel who could only worship Him. He could have made you a kuffar. So understanding He is capable of answering your du'as, and He also wants to answer your du'as. The third point is pleasing Allah. I messed up the writing, but it's pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal. It makes those 2 points more valuable. It makes them work like with an extra bonus. Like those 2 points will be on crack, right? If you have this one. And this one can be done through many things. The first one is that you need to do whatever is mandatory for you as a Muslim, right? You need to pray on time 5 times a day. You need to give your charity, fast Ramadan. You need to have, all the 5 pillars done and more if you can, inshallah. And to give you simple actions, you need to avoid sins. I said avoid. I didn't say stop. I'm not saying continue sins. I'm not saying do sins and it's fine. I'm not saying if you do any sin, you're screwed, you go in hell. I'm saying avoid. Show to Allah Azza wa Jal that you're working on whatever sin you have that is sticking with you. Try to avoid it. Try to stop it. If you're listening to music, whenever you're going to listen to music, say, no, I'll listen to it tomorrow. And then you listen to it, you say, bro, I managed to pull it off yesterday. I'll put it off again tomorrow. And so on and so forth. If it's the same with any types of sin, whatever is sticking with you, try to avoid it. You don't try to stop it. That's your end goal. But be smart about it. Try avoiding it. And as much as you avoid it, at some point, you'll just stop. You'll be avoiding it for like 50 days. And then, khalas, it's gone poof. So, pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal. You avoid sins and you observe mandatory actions. And you stick with these. Praying 5 times a day, fasting in Ramadan, everything you have to do, make sure it's perfect and make sure everything you should not do is not done. Or at least you're trying your level best and really your best, not just saying, oh, I did my best. Trying your level best to avoid that. So here, you basically have a blueprint to understand how you can achieve whatever you want through putting your trust in Allah Azza wa Jal, making a dua in every sujood to Allah Azza wa Jal to answer you, trusting Allah Azza wa Jal and being convinced that He will grant you what you want because He can, and also He has good intentions with you, and pleasing Him. This is the bonus that makes these two work even better. Pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal is avoiding sins, observing what you have to do daily as a Muslim, which is fard on you, praying 5 times a day and the 5 pillars. And you also praise Allah Azza wa Jal when you're making dua, right? When you're making dua, if you want Allah to give you money, you say, Oh Allah, Oh Ar-Razzaq, right? The one who gives rizq, give me rizq, right? Allahumma anta ar-Razzaq farzuqni. It's very simple. You can ask shuyukh or your imam to explain you different du'as based on different situations. But if you're sick, you can ask, Oh Allah, Allahumma anta shafi ishfini, Allahumma anta ar-Razzaq arzuqni, and so on and so forth. You're praising Him with His special names, special attributes when you're making dua. So this one would go with this one, with sujud, praising Him in sujud, making dua about the thing you want. This is like the maximum level you can get, right? In every sujud, you're praising Him and you're making dua about the thing you want. Bonus, sending salutations on Prophet ﷺ, bro, you on like du'as on crack. Like, astaghfirullah if that's joking, but I'm really serious. I'm trying to make it understandable for you. It's like the max level you can do. If you do this consistently for 2 weeks and it doesn't work, come to me or sue me or whatever you want, because you can. It will work. So, all these are more spiritual aspects, and these will never work if you don't do one thing. And this particular thing is putting in action. And what I mean by that is that you here, in step number 1, asked Allah, right? You asked Him, you made dua, you made your 34 rak'ahs every day, sujood every day, asking Him whatever. That's good. You did 50% of the job. The other 50% that needs to be done is you actually going and getting it. So if you're asking Allah Azza wa Jal to get a spouse, right, to get married, you cannot just make dua 34 times a day and then just sit in your room and wait, right? This won't work. You cannot just make dua about money and then just refresh your PayPal and trying to hope one day $1 million will be there, right? So you have to combine this with point number 2, which is putting in action. And what I mean by this is real action. You look at the chessboard, right? The chessboard of your life. I'm currently here. What is the best move to get me towards whatever I want to achieve, right? Let's say this is money. You're making dua to Allah Azza wa Jal every day, but you also, like this is the 50%, you're also working every day yourself on how you can get the thing you want, right? I myself making dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. How can I, I'm asking Allah Azza wa Jal to help me grow a bigger channel, grow the Halal network, grow my businesses and everything, grow my coaching program, whatever. And also, I'm putting in actions. I'm hiring people. I'm trying to ask for the best to learn. I'm spending money on stuff. I'm not just making dua and waiting. And it's the same thing for every successful person. They always make dua for something and then go and implement it to the best of their ability. And they know Allah Azza wa Jal is backing them up, is on their side because they did everything that I explained in point 1, right? So, putting in action. What I mean by this, I'm going to follow the same structure, is that number 1, you do high leverage tasks, all right? And this one is very, very simple. No one's talk about it. Everyone tells you monk mode, be this, be that, whatever. This is what you need to do. And to explain you this, I'm gonna make a very simple drawing. Imagine this is you, right? This is the level of input you make. So these are inputs and these are outputs, right? These here are outputs. Let's say that if you go and watch 50 YouTube videos, the input is very high, but the output is pretty low, right? So if we have a chart, it looks like this. Because you did loads of things, which maybe is watching 50 hours of YouTube, but then nothing really happened, right? You just maybe learned a couple of things. That's pretty much it. So loads of inputs for low outputs. And imagine here, you have a leverage that you can, leverage. Here is very bad. It's all the way up there, right? Imagine here, you have a lever. It's all the way bending up there because it's completely messed up, right? Now, let's say you become a smart person and decide to do high leverage tasks, right? The lever is from here. Now, the inputs would be smaller, but the outputs would be big. And you have a chart like this. Now you notice big money, small money, like progress and regression. These small actions, inputs, would bring you a lot of outputs. And now you'll ask me, Ayub, what are high leverage tasks? What are good inputs that I can do that bring me a lot of outputs? The first one is selling. Think about it. You want to make money. What is the closest thing that comes right before money? Let me draw something for you. Here, let's say here is cash, right? Is money. And here is like nothing. Okay? Imagine like you here have to travel all the way to get money. What is the thing that is just here? Like, what is the thing that happened just before you getting money in the bank? Well, you probably sold something, right? You probably, like, someone gave you money, so you exchanged value. So here is selling, right? Learning how to sell or how to do whatever is here. So if you want to make money, you need to think back to front. You don't need to think front to back, like I need to learn this and then I need to implement and then I need to ask and then I need to, and usually because here you'll just give up, right? And then you'll never reach this. Whereas if you go back to front and you start here and you see, okay, I need to make money. What do I need to do? I need to sell something. What do I have to sell? And if you don't have anything to sell, you think back to front. Okay, what can I do? What can I sell? What can I sell? And then here, if you find something, boom, you start selling, boom, you start making money. You see how quick it is, right? You don't have to go all the way back, learning whatever, 50 business models, and then doing market research, finding a business, and then finding a mentor and finding this, and then asking so many questions about random things, and then doubting yourself for 15 minutes, and then not doing any outreach because you're trying to find the best script, and then I can continue so on and so forth. But think back to front. Think, here there's money, I want money. What is the closest thing that brings me to money? Well, selling stuff. What can I sell? Do I have anything to sell? If you don't have anything, go back. What can I sell? You try to find something you sell. If you want to make direct money, you need cash, you're in desperate need of cash, sell something you have already. If you just need to make money, you don't need desperately to pay rent, but you just want to make money, think, with my current skill set, what can I sell? What can I provide value for, right? If you know how to write, be a copywriter. If you know how to film, be a filmmaker. If you know how to edit, if you don't know anything, just be a freelancer and work for whatever, just sell your time, right? If you want to be, you can be a moderator, you can be whatever, just get the smallest thing that can bring value that would take you to making money. Just think super simple, think back to front, money, selling, what can I sell, and this all the way, right? It's low inputs, you don't need to do many things to start selling, but it's high leverage, you get money. Whereas learning, bro, this is heavy. And I don't get anything from learning. So why, I mean, obviously I'm not saying don't learn anything, but I'm saying when you're starting out, if you want to learn, you can put this all the way here. If you make it fast, if you make it efficient, if you make it quick, you learn just what you need. You learn things and you apply them directly. So if I learn, for example, if I try to be a copywriter and I just watch like 5 hours of courses and then I read for 3 weeks and then only I start writing copy. It takes me a month to have an idea about copy, right? This takes me a month to have an idea about how to copy because I just try to watch videos, read books, try whatever, and then only then start writing. Whereas if after a day, I watch one video, read 3 pages of the most compact book on copywriting, and then I start writing, I have a clear idea. This is a clear idea on how copy works, right? You understand, don't have to finish writing it. So whenever you're trying to do something to get anything, let's just take money for the sake of this video, try selling stuff. If you cannot sell stuff, try to figure out what you can sell. If you don't know whatever you can sell, think super fast, what can I learn? What are other people doing? And just get started as soon as possible so that you can have small inputs and high outputs. You guys love putting in crazy inputs that are useless. You think 5 hours put in whatever business is the same. You think, if I put 5 hours towards watching a YouTube video and someone said you need to work 10 hours a day to be a millionaire, then I just have to do this for the next 3 weeks and I'll become a millionaire. Yoo-hoo. It doesn't work. If you put like 50 hours towards something that's useless, you get no, like this, I'm putting like something here, but you can literally get zero flat outputs, like zero, nothing, literally nothing. And you can also here put very close to zero, like 0.1 input and get 1,000 outputs. Because you're doing super high leverage stuff, right? But I don't want to ramble around this video for too long, so I'll just make it quick. The first one is start selling. If you want to make money, start selling. If you don't know what to sell, think back to front. Selling, money, what can I sell, and go back this way. So, high leverage tasks, small inputs for high outputs. That's the first one. The second one is doing something every day, all right? What I mean by doing something every day is consistency is key. And trust me, I found a way to make this not boring, and I'm teaching you everything here. The first way to make this not boring is to do something you like, all right? If you don't like anything, well, you have to figure something out. Otherwise, you can't make anything. If you find something you kind of like, or you can force yourself to like it, right? It's very simple. I myself hate, or at least hated, recording videos. It was a complete mess. Whenever I had to say, oh, I need to do YouTube, I was procrastinating for 3 weeks. I would say, oh, bro, camera, microphone, this is a mess. And now, alhamdulillah, it seems I enjoy it. I just did it until I liked it. I just did it when I didn't like it until I liked it. Same thing with coffee. If you're drinking coffee the first time, you spit it out. You don't like it, you put sugar in. After 50 coffees, you can't stop drinking it. And if you put sugar in your coffee, you'll just hate it because you didn't like it, but you kept on going because you knew it would help you, it would do something good for you. Then your brain was like, all right, I know this is good for me. Even though my body tells me I don't like it, I know my brain, I like it, so I'll just continue. So do something you don't like until you do, right? I'm not saying be like a mazo crazy guy doing madness. I'm just saying if you have something that takes you towards your goal, but you don't like it, kind of force yourself until you like it. Number 2 is consistency. Consistency here is very simple to understand why consistency is better than 10 hours a day. Why working every day is better than working 10 hours a day one day and then stopping for 3 days because you're burnt out. Because it's very simple. Let's say one day, if you do 6 hours, you get 60% of the outputs. It's very simple. Now on 10 days, I'll just do it here. On 10 days, you put 60 hours. That means you get 600%. It's very simple. Now let's say you say, oh no, I'm the big man, I'm the big G. I can put 10 hours a day, right? Day 1, you put 10 hours, you get 100%. It's very simple to understand. Now day 10, just day 5, you got dead tired of putting in 10 hours. So then you're putting in 50 hours and then you're 500% of the way here, but then you're dead. You cannot work anymore. You can't work a single more day and you're pissed off and you're stopping for the next 3 months because you thought you're the big man when you couldn't handle the heat. So consistency is key, but do something you can handle. Do something you don't like until you like it, but still be moderate about it, right? Don't just say, if you never worked more than 5 hours in your life, why do you think somehow at some point you just be this guy who can work 50 hours a day? You cannot. You cannot. Understand this and do whatever is in your ability, but do it consistently. Push to the max and leave like 5% room so you can breathe, right? Go 95%. If you know you can work 6 hours a day and then you're exhausted, work 5 hours and a half, and then stop, enjoy your time and come back tomorrow super fresh and then extend it a little bit, right? Last point before I finish this video is apply what you learn. All right, you apply what you learn. So you learn something from this video, from a course, from whatever. Stop binge watching, leaving and then rewatching again something else because you're just filling your brain with the information. Stop, even with this video, pause, take notes and apply stuff you learn. If I explained you here the thing about sujood, everything, stop, write notes and say tomorrow from now onwards, next prayer, I'm starting this and apply stuff you learn because actually learning is learned by applying. Learning something is doing something until you kind of know how to do it. If you want to learn to speak a language, you speak the language when you're bad at it and then you become good at speaking. It's very simple. If you want to learn how to drive a car, you get in a car when you never drove in your life and the guy sitting next to you explains you how a car works and then you start and then the car dies because you can't drive and then you start again and you stop again, you start again, you stop again until you can drive. That's how you do, right? Why do you think business is different? Why do you think, oh, you can just pull it off? Or you can learn to drive by just watching, Imam Ghazi for 5 days and then you're good. You're all good, right? So apply what you learn. And this means be bad until good. It's very simple. Just most people stop here. Like let's say this is the stop when you become good. This is good. This is bad. Let's say you're trying to go there. Most people stop here. When there's the most resistance, when you're trying to dig and you're kind of seeing diamonds, but you don't see them fully. So then you just stop. You think you're not making any progress or whatever, and then you just stop. So yeah, apply what you learn by just trying until you suck. If you just watch the video on how a guy closed 5 clients on cold outreach by selling roofing ads for whatever, do the same thing. Pick up the phone and go start calling roofing companies, tell them whatever, just try to sell something. You'll learn more than buying whatever course you want because now you have ground experience. Maybe the guy, the way he does it works for him. Maybe you can pull off another way by just trying. Just try stuff, just learn on the go. Whatever can happen, what will happen? The guy will hang up on you, he'll say, no, I don't need it. Khalas, that's it, move on to the next one. Apply what you learn by just doing it until you become good. Join the Halal Network, biggest community on school for Muslims about entrepreneurship. It's free, link in the bio. Assalamu'alaikum.